Hey guys, it's Susie, and today I'm doing my high school experience video. Catherine's video really inspired me to do this just to give you guys some more perspective on what high school was like for people who have graduated. So anyways, let's get started. So going into freshman year, I was going into the magnet program at my high school, which is the accelerated program that you have to apply to get into and everything. So I was super stoked that I was in that because I was just excited to have rigorous classes and everything because I'm pretty much a nerd, but anyways, so my classes were pretty boring freshman year. I took a physical science class, biology class, which biology was the one advanced course that I took because at my school only sophomores took biology, but if you were in the magnet program you took it freshman year as a double science. And then I had AP Human Geography and Spanish, and then on the next days I had Algebra 2, English, Gym, and Engineering. And I had those all year round, so I never got to switch or anything. So those are my 8 classes. They were really boring. Freshman year was so boring, but I made a lot of good friends freshman year that I've kept throughout high school because of the magnet program. We all had classes. We all had classes together all 4 years. So I made a lot of great friends, and one of them is my roommate in college now. So it's really exciting. But I think my hardest class wasn't the one that I made the lowest grade in, but it was one that I struggled with, having to see all of my friends and my peers do so well in it because I was in the magnet program and I struggled so bad with it, and I thought I did horrible, but I got an 89. It was biology, but I got an 89, which isn't even that bad. I would have killed for an 89 at the end of senior year in a class. That's great. And but I thought it was so hard because all my other classmates were doing so well with it, and biology just isn't my thing. Chemistry is, and we'll get to that for sophomore year. But I had one of my favorite teachers freshman year, which was my physical science teacher. We're still really close to this day. I can go to her with anything. I love her. Shout out to Miss Turner. I love you. Social aspect, freshman year I met my the longest boyfriend I ever had, which was about a year and a half, 2 years. His name is Aaron. We met at church retreat. I was really big into church and youth group and everything freshman and sophomore year of high school, and I met him at a church retreat in January, and we started dating in February, and we did it for a really long time. And yeah, he's such a great person, and we have a great relationship to this day. So yeah, and I had a lot of friend drama freshman year. I remember having lots of friend drama. I was with this shady group of people, I guess, but outside of my magnet program, I had regular friends or whatever, and they were just kind of shady. So yes, I had my first kiss freshman year. It was with a boy named Josh in September, and it was right before a football game. So that was a memorable moment of freshman year. So hey Josh, if you're watching this, you probably won't ever see this, but yeah, he kissed me in September of freshman year, and I thought it was so cute. But anyways, moving into sophomore year. Sophomore year was a little better. I was still dating Aaron, and I took, what did I take sophomore year? I took sports medicine because I wanted to be a physical therapist for a long time in high school, so I took those classes at my school. I took AP Statistics, Child Development, Chemistry, Spanish 3, Design Foundation and 2D Design, World History, and English. Oh, I forgot about this year. I hated math. I love math, okay? I'm a math person, but I hated AP Statistics. I thought it was the worst class ever when I took it. Now looking back, not so much the worst class, but it was just a lot of writing, and stats just aren't my thing. I'd much rather deal with algebra. But I took that. Sports medicine was really boring just because of my teacher. My teacher was a snooze fest, and I had him first thing in the morning, but the information was really cool and I learned a lot. And if I ever want to change my my field of my career, I would definitely go back to sports medicine because I thought it was so cool. I took child development. That class was really, really interesting. My teacher was a complete spaz, and I didn't have any friends in that class, which was horrible. And we didn't have any self-perception. And I had it third block, which meant I had it for 130 minutes because it was the lunch period where you would go to lunch and then have your academic time. So I was in her class a lot, and I hated her. And oh my god, my classmates were stupid because it wasn't an advanced class that I was taking. So I was with all the regular level students, and it was hard. But anyways, then I took chemistry, and chemistry was my advanced science for this year, because most people take chemistry as a junior in my school, but being in the magnet program, I took it as a sophomore. And I loved it. I loved chemistry. I love everything about elements and reactions and all that kind of stuff. I loved chemistry. I loved my teacher. I thought she was hilarious. Like, she was tough and she was hard, but I thought she was a really great teacher, and I really, really liked her, and I loved chemistry so much better than biology, and I was so much better at it. And I made a 91 in that class, so holler. Spanish this year, I really enjoyed Spanish. My teacher was great. I finally got to do art this year, which was great, and I had the best art teacher I've ever had, Mr. Hoffman. He was wonderful. If you guys don't know, I love art. I used to do a lot of art, so my art class was really, really fun. And then I had World History, which was okay. It was AP World. I did pass the exam. I passed both Stat and AP World History, so shout out to sophomore year. And then I took English 2 with another one of my favorite teachers, Miss Thur. We read my favorite book, A Tale of Two Cities, in that class, and we read some really good books in there, and I genuinely enjoy English in general, so I really liked that class. So yeah, that was sophomore year. Social aspect, I was still dating Aaron. I had a lot of fun sophomore year. Yeah, I don't remember anything, like any bad points of sophomore year, so that's good. Yeah, I had a good sophomore year, because I was dating Aaron and he was a good influence. Junior year gets a little shadier, and I'll let you know why, but yes. Sophomore year, at the end of sophomore year, I was also kicked out of my magnet program because there's some requirements you have to fulfill in order to stay eligible to be in the program and to graduate with the program, and that requires either like a quality credit, which is like an extracurricular activity, or 30 hours of community service. But starting freshman year or sophomore year, I got a job. Jobs don't count because you get paid for them. It has to be like something you don't get paid for, like band or orchestra or something like that. And I didn't do anything like that because I just went straight to working. Like, I didn't do any like sports or anything. I just went straight to the workforce basically. And so I didn't have enough I didn't have service hours to complete for that, and so I got kicked out. So that was fun, but we'll talk more about that junior year. At the end of sophomore year, Aaron broke up with me, and I thought my world was ending. I thought the world was over. When I look back on it now, it really wasn't that bad at all. Like, it wasn't like. It was a normal high school breakup, and I overreacted, and I was, like, at the time heartbroken, and, like, nobody understood because I was the first person out of my friend group to be dumped after, like, a long period of time. So I struggled with that. In that summer, I met a boy. I didn't meet a boy. I started, like, texting this boy that I knew from our school, and we quickly became best friends. And, we were always best friends, but we were off and on dating. We couldn't decide whether we wanted to, like, risk our friendship to be in, like, a full-fledged relationship, or if we just wanted to, like, stay friends and, like, have to suppress the feelings that we had towards each other. Our relationship was just complicated. And so junior year, I spent a lot of time figuring out who I was and what kind of people I wanted to surround myself with and everything, because the guy I was talking to, he was a very blunt person, and he was very straightforward with me. He always told me the truth, and he would always be like, listen, this person you're hanging out with, like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but to me, I don't like them, and, like, they seem shady and sketchy, and every time that he turned out right. Like, so I spent a lot of time figuring out myself and figuring out who I should be around, and he turned out to be not somebody I should be around. We aren't good for each other in the long run, but he did teach me a lot of lessons about myself, and I'm grateful for that because he taught me a lot. And, like, he's, like, the first person I ever really loved. Like, I loved Aaron in, like, a cute high school way, but, like, this guy made me feel alive inside, and, like, it's a long story. But that year, one of my longest friendships that I've known my whole life, her family and my family were best friends. We did everything together. That friendship came to an end because of just personal reasons, and so that was hard for me, and the guy friend that I was really close with helped me get through that, and like helped me realize that like it's not the end of the world and I will come back from that. And so that was a really hard time too, and I had to let go of a lot of friends junior year because they weren't good for me, and they weren't positive people, and I wanted to be around positive people who had a positive effect on me, and a lot of my friends weren't doing that. And I felt alone a lot of the time junior year because a lot of my friends weren't there for me like I needed them to be. So junior year was hard in that aspect because I felt alone a lot of the time. But I'm fine now. It's all good now. I found a good group of friends. But junior year was hard. I had like one or two good friends, like one or two good girlfriends, and then the guy that I relied on a lot for everything. So anyways, towards the academic aspects, I took AP Psych. I finally had my first study hall, praise Jesus. Had study hall first semester and art second semester. And then I had U.S. History, Anatomy, Sports Medicine 2, Pre-Cal, Personal Finance, and AP Lang. Psychology, such a fun class. My teacher was hilarious. I loved her. Such a good class. So intriguing and interesting. I highly recommend it. Art class, I got to reconnect with one of my guy friends that I've been friends with since 6th grade, and we're still really good friends till this day, but I got to reconnect with him junior year, and it was awesome. I love him. Shout out to you, Andrew. You're the best. U.S. History was really cool because I took like a grade level U.S. History instead of AP U.S. History because I could not do AP U.S. But grade level U.S. History, I got to meet a lot of cool people in that class because it's not people I normally take classes with. And it's a lot of kids that I went to elementary school with, and like, it was so cool to like hang out with them again, and like my teacher was really awesome. That was a really fun class. I enjoyed that class. And then I took anatomy, and if you watched Catherine's high school experience, she also took anatomy. We had the same teacher. I just took it junior year. That was by far the hardest class I've ever taken in high school. Hands down the hardest. And it beats BC Calculus, which I took senior year. But anatomy was so hard because my teacher was tough, and like he was just hard and harsh, and like if you don't get it, it's on you, and like you have to do everything to get your grade. And he was just really harsh, and unlike Catherine, I couldn't exempt the final exam, and so I had to take it and study for it. I studied my butt off for that thing. And for my magnet program, you have to pass honors classes with an 85 or above and to stay eligible and get your credit for that class. And I was at an 82 at the end of the year, and I had to get a 72 on the exam to get an 85. And I got an 82 on the final exam, and I was so happy. I had an 86 at the end of the year in that class. Sports Medicine 2 was with the same teacher, still, again, extremely boring. And that was when I decided anatomy and sports medicine made me decide that it really wasn't for me. But if I could, I would, like, if my profession changes in the future, I would go back to do this. Then I took Pre-Cal, loved it. I love math. Pre-Cal was so fun. I think I made like a 90 for the year. It was really fun. I loved it. And then I had personal finance, which was really fun, again, with a lot of people that I normally am not in classes with. I didn't really have any friends in that class, and it was cool to make friends, and my teacher was one of the coolest teachers in the school. He's so fun. I see him at the gym all the time, and I really love him. Like, he's so cool. I'm, like, sweating right now. It's so hot in my room. Anyways, then I had AP Lang, and my teacher was the devil. So that was tough, but I had a lot of fun people in that class. There was just 9 of us, and we were like a family. And they made that class bearable for me. And had a lot of write a lot of essays, but we read some good books. And my teacher was just really tough and like really monotone, which is hard to get through the class, but overall it wasn't that bad. And then we get to senior year. Woot woot! Senior year was by far, hands down, the best year of high school. Like, they tell you that it's the best, and they're not even kidding. It is the best year. Social-wise, me and my best guy friend that I talked about junior year, we like broke up and did things for good, and we kind of like dissipated out over the summer, and then like we hung out a couple times, and then when school started back up, like we both knew that it was over. he started dating somebody else and, like, stopped talking to me, and, like, I was a problem for him, and, like, it just didn't work out. But over the summer, I made friends with Caitlin, who is now my absolute best friends, and, like, they say senior year is the year that you find the people you were meant to be friends with all of high school. And, like, I firmly believe that, like, the group of people that I surrounded myself with freshman year is unbelievable. Like, they're the most uplifting, nice, funny people that I could have ever been with, and I love every single one of them. And, like, Caitlin doesn't know how much she, like, changed my life, and, like, she's my best friend, and, like, we did everything together senior year, and, we, like, we took a lot of the same classes, so we studied and, like, hung out and, like, did everything together. But anyway, senior year, I took AP Lit, which was really fun. My class was really, really chill. This was my teacher's only section of AP Lit, so we got to do whatever we wanted, and we read some of my favorite books this year, which was The Awakening. I really enjoyed it. We read The Invisible Man. I loved it. Hamlet, loved it. I think those are the only 3 books we read. Yeah, I think those were the only 3. Hope they were. Yeah. So that class was really good. I took AP Environmental Science. My teacher was psychotic and I didn't learn anything, but I had a lot of fun joking around with her because she was really funny. I took BC Calc, which is right up there with anatomy, one of the hardest classes, but my teacher is one of the funniest people I've ever met. He is so great. He did everything in his power he could to help me because he knew I really struggled, and he did everything he could to help me. He was patient with me. He was kind. But we also had a lot of jokes and a lot of laughs, and I was the butt of a lot of jokes because I love getting picked on. Like, I don't mind it at all. So that class was really fun. It was tough but really fun, and I passed the test, so that's great. I had senior study halls, which meant after my 3rd block I got to leave, so I got to, like, skip a class. And then I had teacher cadets, which is where I fell in love with teaching, and those kids have my heart. I basically spent 3/4 of the years learning how people learn and how I learn and how to teach and, like, everything like that. And then for the last quarter of the year, I got to go into a classroom and be a student teacher, and it was so fun, and I loved it, and I loved my kids, and I absolutely want to be a teacher when I grow up. That's what I'm going to school for. So yeah, I had that class, and then I went to math again, because I had math every day. I usually have class every other day, but I have math every day. And then I went to art, which was AP Studio Art, and I had that with one of my really, really close friends. And then my friend Andrew from art junior year, he sat behind me in that class, and we had so much fun together that year. It was so fun. We were just talking about it the other day, how fun it was. So we had that class, and then at the end of the day I had research with not only one of my favorite teachers, but one of my favorite people. One of my favorite persons, one of my favorite people, I don't know. He's the kindest, funniest person ever. Like, oh my god, Mr. Bunce, you're my hero. We joked around so much, and we butted heads so much, and basically what research is, for the magnet program, again, you have to take research to graduate, and it's basically like a year-long science fair project. And I paired up with my best friend Lexi, who became my best friend throughout this year because we had 5 classes together, so we were really close towards the end of the year. And we're still really close now. I just got back from vacation with her, actually. So we teamed up and did a research project together about regions and taste preference. Yeah, and me and Mr. Bunce just butted heads all year, but we still, like, loved each other and everything, and we're really close, and yeah, I really, really enjoyed his class, even though I acted like I didn't. I really did. So anyway, senior year, my close group of friends are, like, the people from my magnet program from the beginning, like Tyler, Lexi, Nathan, Savannah, Becca. I love you guys. Like, you guys are, like, my family, and, like, I just got back from vacation with all of them, and I love them, and we're all going to school together next year, and I'm so excited. And then there's Caitlin, and me and her, like, worked out all year, senior year at the gym, and we met some really good friends there who we hang out with, and we had so many Dunkin' dates together, and I don't know, senior year was just an uplifting year after a hard junior year. like feeling alone and only having that one guy who ended up leaving me and left me heartbroken, and all of my friends did a great job of like picking me back up and showing me that like there's still life out there, like I'm not alone. But I would say my highlight of senior year was getting accepted into the school of my dreams, which is Clemson University, and I bawled when I got that letter. I was getting ready to go to work at the mall. It was February, it was Valentine's Day actually, and I was getting ready to go work, and my dad came in and he was crying, and like we were so happy. So that's definitely the highlight of senior year for me, was definitely getting accepted into college, and I move in a week and it's crazy. But yeah, high school does really go by so fast, y'all. Like when graduation came, like I couldn't believe it. It feels like just yesterday I was going into freshman year, and I was terrified and scared, and I had my big brother to hold my hand, but I was so scared. But now I'm like so ready and so happy it's behind me, and like happy I never have to walk those halls again. And like graduation is an event in high school that lives up to the hype. Prom, it's gonna be a letdown. It was a letdown. Like it was like, it's alright, but graduation lives up to all the hype. Like I didn't stop smiling the whole day. Like I was so happy, and to hear my name and walk across the stage and ending up getting the magnet program. Oh, I got reinstated. I forgot to say this. Junior year, I went to Costa Rica for spring break with my magnet program. Like my family, that like the close, tight-knit family that I have is from Costa Rica now, because we all went together, and I got reinstated, and I had to do 90 hours of community service and write an essay and like promise to not quit. And that's how I got to go to Costa Rica spring break of junior year, which was by far the best trip ever. And anyways, I graduated with like the honors and the top medal and like the top like amount you can get, which is great. And I graduated 76th of a class of 437, which is great, which is amazing. I have a 3.92 unweighted GPA and a 4.232 weighted GPA. So yeah, I'm really happy with how high school turned out, and like how awesome it was for me. It was such a great experience, guys. Like I don't know, I just love how it ended. Getting to the end was rough, but finally making it there was beautiful, and it was just great. And like you're gonna struggle and you're gonna have hard times in high school, and you're gonna think that like you hate school, but like don't give up. Study, go to class, like make an effort to do your homework, and like just study and try to do the best that you can and put forth your best effort, because you don't want to be known as the kid that like slacks off all class and like doesn't get into college or gets bridged and like has to do like all these stupid classes just to get into college. And like just do the best you can so that in the future you don't have to worry. Like when I sent out my college applications, I knew I was going to get in, like because I'd worked my butt off so hard. And like I only made 1C my entire high school career, I believe. I think it was just 1C, which was in calculus, and I worked so hard for that C. Like that C was not easy, but I kept my grades up and still took really hard classes, and I believe that everybody can do it if they just try their hardest and put forth your best effort. You may not want to right then and there, but you're going to want to wish you had later. So that's just my little spiel. Enjoy high school, freshmen. Enjoy every minute of it. Go to the football games. Go to the homecoming dances. Like senior year, I went to every football game, like every home game, and they were so much fun. And like by senior year, your whole class is a family. Like you really are. And you don't really have any enemies anymore, and like everybody knows where they stand with everyone, and it's just great because you're all a family, and like you're all are there to like love each other and help each other out. So just enjoy it and take it for what it is. And this video is now 25 minutes long. Anyways, that was my high school experience in a nutshell, because high school was a whirlwind of emotions for me, but I'm so happy it's over. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.